think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we all doing? Vegas, you legend. How you doing, my guy? Hope you're well. What is sportsmanship? Well, I don't know. What sportsmanship? No, I'm kidding. Welcome in, everybody. We'll talk about that in a second, actually. I'm sure there'll be some moments on the track where we can break it down and explain it a little more in detail with a little example, even. But let's get through the rigmarole here first. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to GT45 Gaming for our regular scheduled broadcast here on Saturday afternoon. Again, we're here on behalf of the Gran Turismo racing community, the GTRC. And we've got their Porsche Challenge Round 7 this afternoon, and we are all the way over in a world-famous French racetrack right now. We are at Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans, and we're not going to run 24 hours, but we're definitely going to run an hour with these Porsche Group 3 cars. And, well, the championship's been heating up over the last couple of weeks since we've been away, so with that being said, let's take a look at where we're sitting here in our championship standing. So on the screen in front of us is after 6 rounds of Porsche racing here at the Gran Turismo racing community. It is 6 of 9. So we are officially in the chase for the championship here now, starting this weekend's round at Le Mans. So it is Doug Burrow in the lead with 90 points, followed very closely behind by Petrolhead with 86, and very close behind him is Piggums with 84 points. In fourth place, just below them, is Hairraiser with 72 points, and Apex's Bar in fifth place with 60. Right in behind him is Mike 1972 with 58 points, Supra with 56 points, Ash in 8th place with 52 points. Then there's a little bit of a drop in the points there. Some of the drivers not able to make all the races, Matthew being one of them, very fast driver in the track here tonight, it looks like. So in our Pro-Am class, it is Type R with the championship points lead there, has 97 points, followed very closely there by Tro and Kobe with 91, and then there's a little bit of a gap there to Astro with 76 points, and then it's aka Action Jackson Snozzer in 4th place, followed by Lone Ghost there in 5th, with Puzzlement in 6th place, Cloverman in 7th, and Devlin in 8th place there in the Pro-Am. So we got a multi-class race happening here today, essentially, is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have pros and Pro-Ams all racing together on the track. They are racing an overall race, but still racing for individual points within their own classes. So our first Pro-Am receives first place points, our first Pro receives first place points, and so on and so forth, all the way through the driver's field. So we'll try to break down who's who as the race is happening here today. There's going to be a lot of happening here today. I mean, we're going to go right down to the live screen here. We're just going to take a look as practice is happening here. Gives me a chance to test the audio. Let me know how it sounds when you're watching. Appreciate that. Just going to do a quick stream check here before we get got Aaron Paul coming in with thumbs up on the stream on Facebook. Details. Alright. In game is either too high or it might be just too low. Car audio is a little loud. Got it. Go like this. How's that, Paul? Alright, 3-minute warning till qualifying here. So, how qualifying is going to break down here, ladies and gentlemen, is quite simple. We don't use the qualifying setting here in-game. So the drivers will have, we'll see a lobby reset, and the drivers will have 1 out lap, and that'll be followed by 2 hot laps today. Obviously, the length of the racetrack kind of plays a role in how long qualifying is. So we're going to see 3 total laps of qualifying, out lap and 2 hot laps, and that's going to be qualifying, and then we're going to get right into an hour-long race. So our mandates here today are the racing hard and the racing medium tire. And the drivers will need to use both at one point here throughout the race, and it's 3 times wear and 3 times fuel rate. So every time the drivers go 1 time around Le Mans, they're using 3 laps worth of fuel, and they're using 3 laps worth of tires. So I'm assuming that fuel is going to be a concern here, obviously, with it being such a very high speed, very long racetrack. These cars are going to be sitting in the very top end of their final gears, sitting right at those rev limiters. They're going to be in the slipstream, bump drafting, all kinds of things like that. So I do suspect that fuel is most certainly going to be an issue. Hey, cheers, Paul. Appreciate the feedback. Howdy, howdy, Senor Vegas. What's up, Aaron? Hope you're doing good, my dude. Alright, so we're moving, we're grooving. We're rocking and a rolling. I like it. Alright. So we are just a couple minutes away from qualifying. So we'll see a lobby reset before qualifying starts, if I'm not mistaken. And we are a little out of the loop here, but that's alright. See how they play with each other on the Mulsanne straight. It's going to be interesting. I mean, some drivers in the series are very want to lead the pace of the race, but in a race like this, leading the pace of the race is quite difficult when you have such big, long stretches where slipstream is going to play a factor. Yeah, we could see a couple groups of cars maybe battling side by side as they come down the Mulsanne straights here. It's very interesting to see, but the Porsche curve should be quite spicy, I think, as well. As we get ready, you know, as the drivers start to settle into the laps. And I mean, obviously having to be on the racing hards and the racing mediums here this race too is not going to be the easiest set of conditions. It does, however, look like it's favorable weather conditions for the drivers, so that's a plus. That means that it doesn't currently look like there's a chance at rain here on the racetrack, so you know, we'll have to see how that plays out. But too much heat in the racetrack, of course, going to make very slippery conditions, and these drivers are on the 2 harder compound tires here today. So it's a challenging race for these drivers here leading into the chase for the championship here in the Porsche series, and it'd be interesting to see how the strategies play out and how it all breaks down for all the drivers here today. Alright, so I'm just trying to keep my eyes on, well, a whole lot of things happening here. We are live on GT45 Gaming Facebook, YouTube, and the GTRC YouTube as well. So we are doing our best to keep up with all 3 chats. If I miss anything, I apologize. Hope everybody's had a spectacular week. Start this weekend off with some racing, and we're going to get ready to do some qualifying. So we're going to get a little show there from Petrol. You see the smoke rolling from that car. He's going to blow some donuts here now. He's just going to beat that racing car right on up until we get things moving here. So there we go. Lobby is being reset. And it looks like we've got 11 of our drivers on track here today. So it should be a pretty decent sized field. Should be lots of room for these drivers to race and battle it out. So let's get back to the track. And it looks like we're on board with Doug. Looks a little wet on track, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Wow, okay. There's a curveball. So we're going to see some wet qualifying here by the looks of it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Bet you the drivers did not expect that. Hold on, we got to get some game sound back for you guys. My equipment didn't like the overhaul apparently in the brake. Being a little fussy. Alright. So that's interesting. Alright, drivers are starting to probably jump into pit lane and come out on some wet tires here now. Didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming. Alright. Alright, so now we are officially underway here qualifying. Boy, did that throw a curveball at the field. It was nice and sunny in practice, but not so much now. Oh, wow, alright. Freak storm rolling in here at Le Mans all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, here as qualifying starts, and the drivers had to get those cars in pit lane to get some wet tires on, so here we go. On board with Ash Motorsport, and I mean, this is just qualifying, gentlemen, here. Everybody's all tightened up and all nipped together here, so 3 wide there with Tron, Astro, and Ash Motorsport as we head into the first chicane at the end of the first Mulsanne stage here. And well, I don't know how much wet practice these drivers have had here leading into Le Mans this week, but we're about to see some interesting racing, that's for sure. Alright, so I think it's Astro now up in front here, so let's sit on board with Astro. This is a very long racetrack, should be about 4 minutes or a little over 4 minutes around the racetrack in dry conditions. So now that we're in some spicy wet conditions, it should be a little more along the lines of, I don't even know what, 410, maybe 420, it's hard to say. But I guess we're about to find out as these drivers start to go around. But wet conditions here all of a sudden at Le Mans, and that changes the strategies up big time. Big slide there from Astro as he comes around the corner. Now the Porsche is pretty good in the rain, so that is a plus. It's one of the Group 3 cars that does fairly well in wet conditions, so there is that small little plus in the wet conditions. But the question is how long is it going to stay wet for? Do the drivers come out on the wets? Do they come out of the intermediate tires? Lots of curveballs got tossed out there, so. Oh yeah, Pigham's just officially signed on to the team a couple days ago. Yeah, so Pigham's now a member of the 1010s racing team here as well. Yeah, definitely glad to have him, that's for sure. Alright, wet condition racing, ladies and gentlemen, that's crazy. This game, yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the weather dynamic in Gran Turismo 7. It does this. It throws you a curveball when you least expect it, so, well, it should be fun. I mean, the track is quite wet. We're, you know, halfway into what they would consider intermediate racing wet tires. If that meter goes to that, over that next little short line, right beside the tire gauge there, you can see that little line just above where the blue line is showing the moisture on the racetrack right now. That is indicating that the drivers should be recommended to be on heavy wet tires. Now that is of course personal preference to each racing driver, what wet tire they feel, because they do feel quite a bit different, so it's a little bit of a different feel in the race car. Obviously cooling water plays a big factor, and well, you can see the overspray coming from Astro in P1 right now, so tough conditions for the drivers here right now, that's for sure. And they got their work cut out for them this week. They got their work cut out for them. Leave some for the rest of us. We're just a rolling Aaron. What can we say, my man? What can we say? All right, so Astro is still in the lead of this pack here. This could change as these laps continue on, so we're going to see 2 cracks at this. We got Pigham's, Doug, pardon me, and Barr getting into each other a little bit there. Doug went really wide coming on the Porsche curves there, and it looked like just a little bit of contact there with Barr, but this is the outlap, so it's not affecting any times. What really matters is that they get this last second set of chicanes right here leading into the start of this hot lap. So we are now officially under hot lap conditions here in qualifying in very, well, wet conditions here on the racetrack, and the water seems to be holding pretty strong here right now. So let's jump on board with Astro here, and it doesn't appear to be raining currently on the racetrack, so anyways, at this portion of the racetrack, so we're going to stick on board here with our front runner here as these drivers all come through. And yeah, interesting dynamic to the race. Go Pigham's. Hey, how you doing, Black Widow? Alright, we're just checking on everything. Everything looks pretty good. Alright. So you can see the sun starting to poke back out here. Some of the drivers have jumped back into pit lane. I think they've opted to probably come out on racing slicks now. And so at the end of the outlaps here, we have a couple of the drivers coming out on some racing medium tires here. So Obviously, we can see that the track's already starting to dry up. You can see a dry line here as we're looking through the eyes of our lead driver here in qualifying right now, Astro. So I'm Pro-Am driver as well, ladies and gentlemen, leading the pack of qualifying here today. As we come through the first chicane here at the end of the first Mulsanne Straight to head into the second part of the Mulsanne Straight. Now, obviously, the Mulsanne Straight used to be just one very long, like 4-mile straight run. Way back in the early days of Le Mans history, but obviously due to safety reasons they had to put the chicanes in there just to slow the cars down, and that's obviously for the safety of the drivers and probably the spectators around the racetrack as well. So 2 chicanes now added in between Mulsanne Straights to slow these cars down. Of course, as our racing technology has improved over the years too as well, the cars continue to get faster and faster. So just always safety on the mind here from the racetracks, the engineers, and everybody involved that keep these amazing circuits running and keep us with great content to watch all the time. So Le Mans has changed a fair bit over the years, but it's still an absolutely world famous circuit, and a lot of real race car drivers say if you really want to test your racing skill as a racer, drive the 24-hour Le Mans. And there's no other track in the world that'll test you like the 24-hour at Le Mans. So there you go. Just a little bit of fun facts there about the racetrack for what I know anyways. But it is Astro right now, still leading the charge here. And Ash Motorsport is right tucked in behind. So again, this front group is still on these intermediate wet tires here as the track is drying up. And in some spots it's going to be beneficial to them, but in some spots it's going to be a little bit of lack of grip because again, these wet tires are very soft tires. They do not like hot, sticky racetracks. It just tears them apart. So, and they are designed that way, of course, to manage extreme high speeds in these GT racing cars in wet, cool conditions. So the drivers, as the track starts to dry up, you can see the clouds already starting to dissipate away here as well a little bit. Might find this next outlap a little bit spicy here. So it's going to really count. They need to make this one count because the next one's not going to be easy if the track continues to dry like this. So interesting dynamic happening right now. The back half of the group that pit to take on some racing slicks are technically out on another outlap here, so their flying lap's not going to be till the second lap essentially for qualifying. So it's going to be a little bit interesting here for the next 10 minutes around Le Mans here, and we are just heading into the Porsche curves now with Astro and Ash Motorsports. So this is a Pro-Am leading in front of a Pro here currently right now as we come through the Porsche curves. Both drivers seem to be quite on pace with each other here. Ash hasn't made his way around Astro yet. Astro getting a very wide exit there, bar just in behind there as well. So this will be a official recorded time here from our front half of our qualifiers here, and then we'll go see what's happening on the second half of our qualifiers as they come around on their outlaps from their pit stops. So Astro's got one more chicane to go through here, and then it's just a short little run to that start finish line here, as you can already see the car lining up, and it's going to be a 412. Ash Motorsport's going to come through the 413. See what Tron has here. It's going to be a little bit more off of that there. We're looking more along the lines of a 420. Maybe made a mistake. We do see some damage on the front left of the nose of that racing car there, so maybe made a mistake at some point in his lap here. Petro's going to take pole position there. We didn't even see him come across. Tron's going to stay in fourth for the time being. Doug is still on the intermediates here as well and is on an outlap. So Pegums is also going to be on an outlap here. Type R is going to be on an outlap. Supra is also on an outlap. Alright, so we're a little mixed and we're a little jumbled up, but it is petrol head here right now at pole. Now you can see how quickly the track's drying up there. You can see a nice, good, sunny, shady section of the racetrack where the trees are coming through there. You can really see the dry line starting to wear into that light gray area on the track is where the dry line now is. Of course, a darker track around the edges is still a little bit wet right there. So if these drivers were smart that are on the intermediate tires, would be running there right now. They should be dipping those tires in a little bit of wet that's left on the track to cool these tires down. So when they come into the corners, they still have a little bit of grip under them. We're not seeing any of those drivers actually right now doing that. Supra taking pole position there by 2.3 seconds when he came around there as well, and he is on racing mediums here. So I think he was one of the drivers that might have toughed out the wet conditions and just started on the racing slicks. We got a penalty here for petrol, and that's definitely going to hurt the time around the racetrack there, but it won't be served for quite some time yet either. At some point, we'll have to have a technical partnership where I won't have anyone to practice with. You guys are always welcome to come practice with us. Come on now, you guys know that. Okay. Silly gooses. Alright, so it's Supra here sitting in pole position, so it's going to be a little bit confusing here. We're going to have to find the drivers that are closest to the track here right now. Where's Astro? Astro's in 4th. He's not the closest driver. It looks like it's going to be Bar and Petrolhead here that are actually going to be, and Ash Motorsports in there as well, that are going to be coming across next as well. So we'll stick with these guys here now as they're coming around. This is a very lengthy racetrack, so going to be lots to see here, but not a lot to see here all at the same time. Battling is going to be early, and then I think it's going to be a matter of not losing anybody, so you have a drafting partner. Drafting partner is going to be very important for this race here this weekend. You're not going to want to be on the track alone if you've got everybody else has a drafting buddy. So you can see Bart dipping the tires a little bit there, trying to get a little bit of temperature cool down in those tires before he came into the corner. You see him purposely go really wide there. And, ooh, big wobble there in behind. I believe that is Petrolhead there in behind Bar, and I think that's Ash Motorsport in the middle there. And Ash goes around there as well, so very interesting little run we're having here. Slipstream may be factoring in here for qualifying today as well, so it's interesting. Now, I know what kind of times we're seeing on the medium tires from some of the fast drivers, some of our championship points leaders here in the Pro Division before we turn the stream on, so I do have an idea what we should suspect we could see from these medium tires, but I'm not going to say too much more about that right now. And the rain at the beginning of qualifying really threw a wrench in the qualifying strategy of a lot of these drivers, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all breaks down here. But right now it's Ash and Bar 27 here, and Bar had to check up a little bit, and that is the problem with qualifying around each other as well. If you know, a driver in front of you bobbles, they're going to cost you time on the track as well here. So Ash coming through, it's going to be a 412. It's good enough for 4th place. Bar stays in 3rd. Petrol stays in 2nd place, and I'm not sure who just went through there. Alright, where is our next set of drivers here? That was Astro that just went through there. Hairraiser up into 7th. We got Tron up into 6th place here as he comes around. I believe that's Doug right there coming through. Doug jumps up into 3rd place as he comes around there. So that was a good lap there from Doug. We got Bigums coming through right now. What is he going to put in as he comes around? And I can't find him in the list, so we're just going to wait for him to come up. He's going to come out in 4th place, just in behind Doug here on the track. So let's see who's still flying here. Type R is just coming through here right now on his flyer, and I believe that Hairraiser's just up in front of him there. And that's still going to be 9th place there for Type R. So the rain definitely threw a wrench in the works of the drivers here today. We got Mike 1972 coming around here. He is, I believe, sitting in 6th place currently in the standings here, just a point off Bar in 5th. And he comes through, and that's going to be good enough for 2nd place there. So pole is a 4:04.375 put in by Supra, who stayed on the medium tires. It looked like the whole run there, so that was a good call for him as he got a pole position here to start this race off. So we'll let Hairraiser set that grid and get everything moving. Yeah, I'm hosting Div 2, Aaron. So that means Div 2 will have a live broadcast for PRL tomorrow, alongside with Div 1 being done by Dino. Not sure who's doing Div 3 yet, though. So that means we'll be live tomorrow. Instead of ACC in our normal scheduled time slot on Sunday, it'll be PRL, Pure Racing League from Gran Turismo platform, as ACC doesn't fire back up till next weekend, so... Ooh, yes, we also got other stuff brewing too. Oh yeah, I'm in the know. We got a lot going on right now. I got a lot to be in the know of right now, that's for sure, my man. Team captain in 2 leagues right now, there's a lot going on. No, you've always been solid. Always been a solid connection. But yeah, I don't know if they've reached out to the hosts or what's going on there yet, but... Alright, just getting all caught up here. There's a lot going on today. And, ooh, wet conditions. Alright, so here we go. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? It is going to be Supra on pole with Mike in second. It's going to be Petrol in third, Doug in fourth, Piggums in fifth, Bar in sixth, Ash in seventh, Astro in eighth, Trone in ninth, Hairraiser in 10th, and Type are rounding out the field. And we are green. And oh boy, here we go. We got drivers on racing slicks. This is going to be a little ugly potentially. Alright, so we got Supra in the lead, we got Doug in second, we got Ash in third, we've got Trone in fourth, we got Petrol in fifth, and oh, he's caught out on a racetrack right now with some slicks on. We got Hairraiser in sixth, got Type R in seventh, we've got Mike in eighth, we've got Piggums in ninth, and oh boy, he's in for a ride. We got Astro here in ninth place now, and boy, this is a crazy race today, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy race today. All the drivers making their choices on the tires, and here we are with wet conditions. So, is this a case of? Again, it's not currently raining on the racetrack. It is just starting out with very wet conditions. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out here. So already we have drivers on wet tires, we got drivers on racing slicks, and it is on like the Honky Kong. You're all good, Aaron. Don't let it get to you, my dude. Just gotta keep moving and grooving, my man. Just gotta keep moving and grooving. It's all good. Don't let it stress you out. It's just a video game, brother. It's just a video game. Alright, so Supra still leading the charge here. So the drivers obviously on the wet tires get a good start here because they have the right tire for the condition. However, how long is that tire going to be the right tire for the condition? I'm not sure what the tire mandate is in for wet conditions here, so it's going to be interesting for that officiating staff to have to sort out after the fact here. We've got Petrol here in 5th place. He's starting to get up to speed there. He hasn't fully lost those guys up front on the rain tires yet, but very quickly these drivers could have a hard time keeping pace with those drivers until this dry line starts to set into this racetrack. So we got Type R currently sitting in 7th, we got Hairraiser in 8th, we got Astro in 9th, we got Bar in 10th. And I think we lost Piggums there, so... down to 10. Woo! Big slide there from Supra. Coming in around the corner there, we've got Ash here in 2nd. We've got Trone here in 3rd. I think there's a discussion on whether or not there should be a red flag called here for the race right now and behind the scenes. I tend to agree with that, but I'm just a commentator. Well, and the conditions were showing dry conditions before the race started too, right? So I mean that's kind of I think where the question is, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just gathering what I'm seeing on the chats right now, but it appears that the race is going to continue. I'm not sure. There's still a discussion being had. We might have a red flag being called here. We still are technically on lap 1, so I mean, we're getting near the end of lap 1 here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the red flag was called. I kind of figured it would be. It looked like half the field got caught out there. And again, if it's showing, yeah, the game, we were supposed to get a big update, actually, on the 26th, which never happened. Just noting that as well to the community. There was a massive update that was supposed to be quote-unquote dropped here in Gran Turismo 7, and it never happened. So I don't know if they just halted it back, dialed it back, or what the deal is there, but... There we go. Alright, so we have a red flag situation is what's happening here. And we're going to reset the grid. And then we'll kick this thing back off again here. So, yeah. Interesting. A very interesting start of events here. Wonder if the pre-race radar showed this, because if not, then what was the point of that update? Yeah, good point. That's a good point, Aaron. That is a very good point. I keep hearing all these weird sounds on my stream, and I don't know what they mean. Yeah, but we need it still. I mean, they must have postponed it. They haven't said nothing about it either. That's crazy. Hey, Chris coming in with that like on the stream as well. There we go. Now the alerts are starting to come in. So I'm not sure. There's probably a little bit of a discussion happening here, if I had to guess. Gotta get everybody to check in so they can reset the grid. A little bit interesting state of events here today, that's for sure. This has been a crazy race start. Absolute crazy race start. It's supposed to be the biggest one yet. Well, that's what they say, but you know, we always have the data miners out there that get that information, right? They always get us, you know, some kind of insight or intel on what's potentially coming, and we haven't even seen that come out anywhere. So whatever's happening, it must be super secret, hush hush. Everything's been kept off the internet type deal, because they've clearly rolled back the update for whatever reason. Uh-huh. Yeah. See? That's what I mean, those data miners. Uh-huh. So yeah, I don't know. It is about that time though. I mean, we usually get our update right around that time, so I could understand why they expected that to happen, of course. Alright, let's go take a look at this weather radar. Huh. Alright, well, what the weather radar says, it's been sunny out for the last hour, so... Yeah, I think everybody has at this point. I think it's been, you know, exhausted to death by the community for sure. For sure. Probably Chris, most likely. That's true, yeah. Yeah, that is so true. Alright, I think the drivers are just, you know, they're just checking exactly those things like we just did, right? Checking the radar. You know, like we're like way out there. There's just nothing. Alright. I think they're just having a behind-the-scenes meeting to try to sort the confusion out, is most likely what's happening behind the scenes right now. Race control doing everything we can, of course, to get everything sorted out so we can get, well, I mean, fair racing, obviously, right? We just want everybody to have a good, clean, fair race. So I guess the biggest question is, now we verified live on the stream this time. We should have done that last time. We'll start looking at those things in these random weather lobbies. Actually, I keep forgetting that feature is there. But, you know, we verified that over the last hour it has been completely dry conditions within 100 miles of the racetrack. So it doesn't rear its ugly head for my return to the track. Yeah, I need to get my pedals fixed. We're going to fix the pedals today so I can get back on track. Alright, let's go again. So this is going to be our race restart here, ladies and gentlemen, after the red flag. The track looks drier. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going to go race a chat, and we're hopefully going to get it right this time. So, red flag called due to surprise weather conditions. That delay, of course, now allowing the weather to settle down a little bit. Then track officials get on track, kind of get it cleaned up a little bit, and the drivers are off and running. So the racing medium and racing hard tires are required here this weekend in the racing, and it is on like Donkey Kong, as all 11 drivers get off grid nice and clean here, it looks like, as we come through turn 1 and 2. Bar 27 having a little slide there. Kind of bottled the pack up a little bit. That allows Super to get a great run away. Mike in second. We got Petrol in third. We got Doug in fourth. We got Piggums in fifth place. We got Bar 27 there in sixth place, and he was the car that we're seeing having a little bit of a wiggle coming through the first couple corners. Again, on these cold racing tires here. Got Astro in 7th, we got Ash in 8th, we've got Hair Razor here in 9th, we've got Type R here in 10th, and we've got Trone in 11th, and we are still seeing one driver on the intermediate tires, so I'm not sure what that's about, but off and running. Alright, so Super with an immediate 1 second gap here on the field as we head up the Mulsanne Straight, coming into the first chicane at the end of the first part of the Mulsanne Straight, but that is going to allow the pack to start to close back up. He is one driver by himself with 5 or 6 cars nose to tail. The pack is going to catch him. So again, it's going to be very hard to get away from a group of cars on this racetrack. It's so long, so high speed. Slipstream is really going to make a big difference, and bump drafting is going to make a difference here on the racetrack. So sheer pace alone may not be enough today. Fire me up 2-hour races are just a little much for me at the moment. Yeah, it's all good, ATV. They are a very long race. I ran a mock already earlier this week for it, and it's a long haul, man. It really is. It's a hard, long time to keep your focus. Super here in first place and doing a pretty good job at managing the gap. You can see it's coming down now with Petrolhead now up in second place. Guys swapping positions. We're going to see this a lot here as these cars pack up. We got Doug sitting in third place here. We got Mike down into fourth place. Piggum still sitting in fifth place. Bar 27 tucked just in underneath him there in sixth place as well. And then we got the second pack here led by Astro with Hair Razor in 8th place in behind. He's also with Ash Motorsport in 9th. Type R here in 10th, and Trone in 11th place. So Astro doing a pretty good job holding off that front pack right now, and that's only going to last for so long. As you can see how quickly those tires already eating away on this racetrack in the dry conditions. That's why you don't use wet tires in dry conditions, ladies and gentlemen. It just tears those tires apart. You'll be pit. We're not even at the end of lap 1 yet. He's going to be off those tires in 2 laps time if he doesn't get some rain. So I'm sure the drivers are paying close attention to that weather radar, however, with the way the day has gone here. So I'm sure that the crew chiefs and engineers and behind the drivers of these cars are watching that very, very closely here now today. We got Petrolhead here in second place. We got Doug Burrow very close behind here in third. Petrol is behind Doug in the overall standings by just 4 points, separating those two. And Pigham's now up at the fourth place here. Just in behind those two as well in third place, just by about, I think, 4 points. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this shakes down here today. We got Bar 27 in fifth place, and we got Mike now dropped down into sixth place here. So slowly but surely losing some positions, but still in that front pack. He doesn't want to lose that front pack or be at the mercy of the back pack, which is now led by Hair Razor, but he's broken free slightly, almost 2 seconds. So now Hair Razor's trying to catch the front pack, and we'll see how that goes as he's kind of all alone right now on the racetrack, and Astro is just struggling right now on those tires. We may see a very early pit stop coming from this driver, unfortunately. As you can see, Ash Motorsport going around on the outside there. Astro's doing a great job of trying to hold the charge off, but there is only so much that he's going to be able to do on those tires there. You can see he's coming into pit lane. That is enough of that. So that is going to put him a few seconds in behind, but top off the tank and see what you can do with it at this point. Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was just, I think he was just guessing just in case the rain came. He would have been the only driver on the right tire in that sense, right? But it didn't quite work out for him in this case. He gambled a little bit. We'll see how he recovers from it here now. We've got Petrolhead now in the lead of this race. He has managed to get around Supra. So Supra's now down in second place. We got Doug there in third. And he's just lost touch with the front two just slightly here. He's got about 0.8 of a second in behind. So he's just on the tail end of that slipstream. Needs a really good exit here so he can stay with these two as they come up the racetrack. We got Pigham's here in a fourth position. They got Barr and Mike 1972 here, so a little 3-car train rolling right now in fourth, fifth, and sixth place, and we're going to see lots of pack racing today. You're going to want a buddy. You're going to want a buddy. Alright, just keeping an eye on everything. We're streaming a bit. Oh, we got Ash blowing the corner a little bit there, missing the braking point. Thankfully, he was far enough ahead of the group there. We didn't have any cause and effect due to that mistake there, but just a little bit of lost time. We got Trone there in ninth place. Type R's tucked right in behind there in 10th. And where did Astro come out in behind those guys? About 30 seconds. So there it is, about 30 seconds lost in that pit stop there. So it's going to be 45-second, maybe a bit of pit stop. You take a full tank of fuel, which I doubt these drivers are going to do at this point. We'll see how long a tank goes here. We're on about a little over halfway now, almost halfway around the circuit here, and the drivers have already used a quarter tank of gas, so we're going to see probably 6-7 laps. It looks like here on the tank of fuel for these Porsches. And the tires might be, well, not doing so great by then either, by the looks of it here, as we can see how the tire wear is already kind of shutting down on some of these cars. Supra's taking a lead back from Petrolhead, and we're going to see a lot of this here. We're going to see these guys swapping these positions in the slipstream a fair bit throughout the race here today. We got Doug Burrow in third place. We got Bar 27 now up into fourth. We got Mike into fifth. Pigham's is down in behind those guys in sixth place here now. We've got Hair Razor here in seventh. We got Ash in eighth. We got Type R in ninth. We got Trone in 10th. And we got Astro here in 11th position. Alright, so it is still Supra leading the charge here. And Petrolhead is just chilling right now. He's just a car length, separating the two of them. And Doug Burrow right there in third place. Let's go take a look here. The tire wear quite even on the top 3 cars here right now as well, so that's always a plus. So no real advantage here right now besides the driver behind the wheel at the moment here, and so very even stats across the board for those 3 up front here. We got Bar 27 in fourth place here right now. Pigham's is just made his way around Mike 1972 there in fifth place, and interesting. Some strategies are rolling here. Got Hair Razor in 7th place. He's 3 seconds in behind that group, and he's kind of just holding strong at 3 seconds. Again, they are in a little train, so they're helping each other gain speed here where Hairraiser's kind of by himself. He's really relying on his sheer pace to try and catch that group right now. And at the moment, it is on pace with the group, but not enough for him to gain. And here we go, side by side for the race lead again between Petrol and Supra. Petrol's going to have the inside track coming into the chicane, just slips in front there, and is it going to be race lead now going back to Petrol head here. So battle is definitely on here in the race today. And right now it is Petrol, Supra, and Doug at first, second, and third place. But the active part of this battle is between first and second right now. Doug's just chilling right there. He's just kind of keeping those guys right there and just letting these guys kind of fight it out right now. These guys are going to keep wearing their race cars out battling. It's clean battling here right now, but it is definitely hard battling. Might have been a little bit of contact there between Petrol and Supra. I think Petrol's trying to get the spot back, and now Doug is right in the tail end of this mix again. And like I said, sitting there in third place, just chilling, watching the show right now in front of him, waiting for a mistake to be made, and then he's just right there to pounce on it. He almost got two free positions there with that touch between the two front runners, Supra and Petrol there. So very fortunate for first and second place there, as Doug Burrow was right there to pounce, and he's just chilling, just sitting there in third place. He's in a good position there, but all that little bit of tussling right there now allowing bar 27 and Pack to kind of close that gap up a little tiny bit more. And I mean, the time's dropping there, 2 seconds from bar to that front Pack. We got Mike about 1.4 seconds in behind him. Piggums is about a second in behind Mike, so just off that slipstream here currently. Hairraiser's coming 2.4 seconds in behind. We got Ash here in 8th place, and he's in no man's land. 6 seconds on both sides of him here currently. Type R and Tro and Kobe still very close together here, 9th and 10th place within 1.2 seconds of each other, but a penalty there's not going to help Trone's cause any, and Astro is closing the gap. 24 seconds now to the back drivers there, so definitely putting in some quality laps there after having to get off those intermediates onto those medium tires. Welcome in, Nolander. Welcome in, my dude. We appreciate you, my guy. So fastest lap on the track right now, Super, with a 4:209 second, and that's about indicative of what we were seeing in practice. So the drivers may get a little bit quicker as they... Ooh, big slide there as Doug Burrow takes advantage, and a little bit of contact there, but everybody, again, no harm, no foul there. You got a little bit off track. That put the car sideways. You got in to the side of the cars there, and thankfully everybody kept moving in the right direction. So some tough racing here at Le Mans today, and well, it's a tough racetrack. It's easy to make mistakes. It's a long racetrack, and Petrol Head's going to now move up into second place there around Super as well. Super's just trying to kind of gather himself back up after that little mistake there. It looks like he's just going to go side by side here with Petrol. He got a good run there. He was looking for the undercut, but he almost made contact on that right rear, and he had to just check up a little bit there. So that cost him his run a little bit. It's side by side action here for second and third place between Petrol Head and Super. And Doug's just like, yep, keep battling, mates. I'm just going to go this way. So Doug now up in the lead of the race, and we did say he was in a good spot. He was just chilling there in third place, just watching the show happen in front of him there, and eventually what happened, and he got into first place there and made a couple of nice moves. And Petrol's going to take second place away from Super, but then he makes a mistake coming around the corner, and now let's see if Super gets a charge on him here again, heading out of the corner. Doesn't seem like he's going to tuck back into the slipstream, but again, all this jostling and tussling for position has only allowed the backpack to catch back up. So bar 27 now right there on the edge of slipstream, and he has Mike and Piggums in tow here in 5th and 6th place. So the front pack starting to almost turn into a very large pack of cars here again. Hairraiser's starting to close the gap up, almost got it down to 2 seconds here now, as he had 3.1 seconds when he broke free from the back pack. Ash Motorsport here, he's in 8th place. He's trying to catch up as well. We got Type R here, he's in 9th. Throwing Kobe had to serve that half-second penalty there, and you can see he's still got Type R in his sights, but lost a little bit of time on him there with that penalty being served, and Astro gained a couple more seconds there on those two drivers up in front of him. So he's doing a really great job of trying to recover right now after a miscalculation on tires at the beginning of the race. We got Doug Burrow still in the lead of this race. Now, he doesn't have that slipstream broken yet. It's going to be tough to do that today. Like I said, being the race leader is the toughest spot to be here today, because you can't really control the race pace, because slipstream and drafting is just going to play such a major role here on the racetrack. Doug just needs to have some really clean sectors and keep trying to open that gap up through the corner sectors. And then when he gets to the straights, he might just be able to hold that gap off from these cars in behind. Super with a big slide coming around the corner right there. How he managed to keep that underneath of him is pretty incredible there, but all these little mistakes and all these little slides are going to start costing him in tire wear, and that's going to cost him in some of these drivers chasing him behind that necessarily haven't been taking a little better care of their cars. Bar 27 here in 4th place picks up the track limit penalty. There's a half second. That half second is going to probably relate to about a full second or more, depending, obviously, due to where they have to serve that penalty. It's on a very high-speed sector, so they're going to lose a lot of momentum and have to get that car back up to speed after they serve that penalty as well. So you're losing quite a bit of time. Pickham's here in 6th place, but 1.7 seconds off Mike, and Hair Razor's closing in behind. Ash here in 8th. And a beautiful little car here, and he's just chilling right now. He's really got those tires really under control here right now as he's coming around the racetrack, and maybe we're going to see a double stint on those tires from some of these drivers. That could potentially happen. We've seen a lot of that this season, the double stinting tires. It's kind of a new thing we're starting to see here with the tire model that's going on right now currently in the game. Of course, all that could change whenever this next update drops, but in the meantime, the tire model's pretty good. So Doug and Petrolhead here now nose to tail. Doug's got a half second track limit penalty, and that is going to kill that lead charge here, as Petrol will get that position for free. Potentially Super in 3rd place there will also get a run on Doug when he finally serves that penalty there as well. So we will see the position for the lead change here, either when that penalty served or before the penalty served. We got a little bit of bump draft happening here between 1st and 2nd place right now. So Petrolhead opting to work together with Doug here currently right now to try and break away from Supra chasing here in 3rd place, and that's not a terrible idea. 1.6 seconds is that gap they got opened up on him right now. But Bar 27 is closing in on Supra here, and if he tucks in behind Supra and starts working together with him, but they could have a good chance of closing those guys back up. But it's really going to come down to each driver, what their plan is when they catch up to the driver up in front. Mikey's about 2 seconds in behind here. He's still maintaining pace, still got him in eyesight. Pigham's much of the same thing here in 6th place. Hair Razor's closing in. Hair Razor's now in the slipstream of Pigham's here, so it won't be too much longer here before Hair Razor will be applying a little bit of pressure on the white Porsche up in front. We got Type R here. Oh, Troll just may getting a little bit wrong as he comes around the corner there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time there in behind the Caterpillar Porsche, driven by Type R here. Let's see if we can get an unglaring camera shot here. As you can see, the sun's really reflecting off that windscreen here right now as the drivers come around the racetrack. There we go. Couldn't get a good zoom shot in here. And that Caterpillar Porsche as it comes around the corner there from Type R. Get a nice little shot to the THG driver here, Mr. Trone Kobe. Astral rolling up here as well into that same spot. It's a good spot to get a good camera angle out of the glare of the sun. Alright, let's go see what's happening up front. So Petrol has gotten around Doug after that penalty being served there. Goes a little bit wide on the exit of Porsche curves there. You got to be careful how wide you go there. You can pick up track limit penalties quite easily there as well, but it doesn't look like he went what the track officials consider too far across that line, so they didn't penalize him there in this instance. But it is very close here between 1st and 2nd place right now. Well, about half a car length separating these two Porsches at the moment. A little mistake made there by Doug, and we're now at 3:59.6 fastest lap on track set by Petrolhead there. Super's going to come around. He picked up a penalty there in that last sector. That's unfortunate. It's going to be a long drive around this racetrack knowing you're going to have to serve that penalty, and Bar 27 is close enough to strike now. Ooh, and another mistake made under braking there by Super, and again, a little bit of sliding that driver was doing on lap, I believe it was 3 there. Really just hurting those tires just a little tiny bit more than the drivers that haven't been sliding the cars around here. And Bar is on top of Supra here now in 4th place from Apex Sim Racing. And Mike 1972 is now close right up on these guys here as well. So every little bit of battling costs time on the racetrack to the guys that are chasing behind. And those guys catch up quickly when drivers start to battle. So we're going to stick with this little battle here for a moment. Yeah, it might not be, Aaron. You could be completely right. You could be completely right, but we've seen a lot of that here in the series so far, so it's speculation. Alright, let's jump on the top of the hood view here with Bar 27. They can see that front pack just up ahead here as well. So the bigger question is really how much do you want to battle as well? Right now, Mike 1972 is in the mix here. Now we got a 3-car train. This is a 3-car train versus a 2-car train up front in theory. that 3-car train, if they can close back up together here, should be stronger than the 2-car train. But if the drivers are picking up penalties like this, that hurts the old choo-choo slipstream train factor out quite a bit here as well. So bar 27 picking up a track limit there, and that's Mike 1972 is going to use slipstream, and he's going to go up into the inside, coming out into this left-hander here, and oop, that's going to leave bar 27 on the inside, coming in a little bit of a touch there between the two drivers, but no harm, no foul. Everybody gets through, and you can see the drivers really pushing hard there. We got Piggums and Hairraiser here now in 6th and 7th position, so Hairraiser has caught Piggums here. We figured he probably would by the end of this lap. And is he going to work with Piggums, or is he going to make a move around Piggums? Currently looks like he wants to work with to try and catch that pack up in 3rd position here, but unsure if Hairraiser is aware of the tire difference between the two drivers here. So he may be, he may not be, but definitely got a buddy here now. Does Hairraiser and Piggums, as they got the little slipstream chain going here, and see if they can reel it in. So the gap is 3.5 seconds to bar 27 in 5th place after having to serve that penalty. And he may not have served that penalty yet. He actually might fall back to this back 2 here when he does serve that penalty, but they are definitely working together here for the time being. So it is Petrolhead. He's got 1.5 seconds almost on Doug coming around that corner, but Doug gaining some of that time back around the corner. And Petrol did say pre-race here that he's coming for that championship lead, so he definitely wants a race win here today. And currently he is, well, in the right position, but we still have 40 minutes of racing left to go yet before this is settled. So lots can happen in that 40 minutes here at Le Mans. We've seen some rainy weather already here today, and I mean, that's definitely not out of the woods yet. It's been some pretty spotty showers here so far. Mike in 3rd place. He's got Supra there in 4th place, so Mike's now gotten around Supra as well. And bar 27 there is chasing Piggums and Hairraiser here, still nose to tail in 6th and 7th place. And what's the gap? There's 2.7 seconds here to bar 27 up in front. So slowly but surely. Seems like they're gaining, but they're not gaining in large quantities. We got Asher, he's 14 seconds in behind Doug coming into pit lane there. We've got Type R here in 9th. We got Trone in 10th, and it looks like Astro in the background. Here it is. He's got about 6 seconds now to Trone here in 11th place. So he's been doing a great job at really taking advantage of that clean air and trying to catch the back of the pack after having to make that initial pit stop very at the end of lap 1 there to change off those intermediate wet tires onto some racing mediums. So he has done a pretty good job so far at keeping up and catching up to the pack. So the question is now is pit strategies. Here you can see most of the field coming in. Petrol stayed out. He's got a 5-second gap over Mike right now, and it's very close between him and bar 27 in 2nd and 3rd place now on the racetrack. Hairraiser's in pit lane, Doug's in pit lane, Supra, Ash Motorsport, Piggums, and Type R. That leaves Trone, Kobe, and Astro who are going to go around again. So half the field coming into pit lane and half the field now coming out of pit lane. So Petrol now clean air, no pressure, nobody putting any immediate threat on him here in the lead. He's got 5.9 seconds gaining on the drivers up in behind, chasing from Mike 19. There we go, thanks guys. From Mike 1972 at bar 27. Camera crew was giving us the wrong picture there. And I don't think a whole lot's going to change here because we're going to start probably see most of these drivers come into pit lane here. Ooh, 1 second penalty there for Doug as he comes out of pit lane. So he didn't cross pit line there, but that is a couple of track limits, obviously. We got Supra here in 5th place, and he's got a pit line infraction penalty, so that's a 3-second penalty there for Supra. We got Piggums here. He manages to get through penalty free. Hairraiser gets through penalty free, and Trone and Astro are just in behind those guys now, so they gained up a little bit of time there, but they are going to have to make a pit stop at some point here still. Got Ash has come out in 10th, 15 seconds in behind, and Type R here in 11th as well. So here we go. Strategies full in play now. Yeah, I'm just an armchair driver too, my guy. I'm just an armchair driver, my team, my guy. It is all good. Alright, Petrolhead. Nothing changing here. Get a little battle here still between Bar and Mike. I can't really call it a battle at this point. They're just kind of nose-tail driving. They're not closing the gap up on the leader here. And Bar is going to take a look on Mike 1972. So side by side here as we come around the corner. And he will get that move done in, of course, the slingshot slipstream style move there. Takes it on the outside coming around the flowing corners here. And that puts Bar up into second position, puts Mike down into third place. So that leaves Dugborough 40 seconds in behind that lead pack. Supra chasing very close behind here in fifth. We got Piggums here in sixth place, got before 3.5 seconds on the back of those guys and closing there. So we got a great run through that sector. Hairraiser still very close behind here in seventh. We got Astro in 8th, we've got Trone here in 9th, we've got Ash in 10th position, and we've got Type R here in 11th place. So, Piggum's currently the only driver to clear the tire mandate here so far on the racetrack. It is Petrolhead. He'll be coming into pit lane, I'm assuming, here as we come through the Porsche curves. And as we get towards pit entry there, oh, that may very well pick him up a half-second track limit penalty there as well for that nice wide entry. Coming out of the Porsche curves there. Racing officials really being kind here. And we should see Mike and Bar 27 coming into pit lane. I don't think they can make it away around the track on another time with the amount of fuel left in those racing cars. We got 0% from petrol, we got 3% from Mike, we got 0% from Bar 27, so definitely not enough fuel to get around one more time there. So at about 25 minutes, those two pits, so no one stops happening here today. Alright, so that leaves Dugborough. He's got 42 seconds gap to Petrolhead up in the lead, and he's got Piggums 2.8 seconds in behind a Super, and now down into 6, so Super must have made a mistake, so penalty potentially as well. So let's see if Doug is going to grab that spot from these drivers here as he comes around, leading into the last 4 corners here, heading to the start-finish line to start lap 7. Let's see if he can get ahead of Petrol, Mike, and Bar 27 here in first, second, and third place. Petrolhead comes out of pit lane. Doug's going to jump up into second. No, Mike is going to make it out ahead. Is Bar going to make it out ahead? It is close, but no, Dugborough is going to move up into third place. So Petrol and Mike do manage to keep first and second place after that first sequence of pit stops there. And Bar 27 slots into fourth, Piggums in fifth, Super down into sixth, and Hairraiser here in seventh. We got Trone Colby in 8th place. We got Astro coming into pit lane here now. Ash going to come around, grab that spot back. And Type R here coming around. Type R now also clearing his tire mandate as well. And Petrolhead here also going to now clear his tire mandate. So 3 of our drivers now clearing those mandated tires here for our race today. So hard and medium tires are the required tires today, and the only compounds available for the race here this afternoon as well. So we will not see soft tire laps around Le Mans today. Mike 1972 in second place, 6.3 seconds in behind Petrolhead here right now. So Petrolhead stretched the gap out just a little bit more on the field. Doug is a car length separating him and Mike 1972 here right now. A little bit of dirty airplane in there, big wiggle there from Doug, but didn't seem to lose him any time on second place, but he did pick up a half-second track limit penalty there for it, unfortunately, and that's gonna hurt the charge in behind, and that's going to put him at mercy of Bar 27, Piggum, Super, and Hairraiser in behind as well, because they're not that far behind. 1.5 seconds gap from Bar 27 to Doug, and Doug is going to try and make some tracks right now. He's going to look up the inside of Mike coming into the chicane here, and he is going to get the move done, but again, he's just trying to make up as much time on track as he can right now before he has to serve that penalty, because when he serves that penalty, he is going to be under fire from the pack chasing him behind. Bar 27 and Piggums here nose to tail in 4th and 5th place. They're closing up very quickly on Doug and Mike there up in front. 1 second now the gap, so they close up a half a second there just around that sector, and working together very, very well here right now is Bar 27 and Piggums. We got Supra here in the 7th position, and Hairraiser on the outside. Oh, cannot quite hold it. There's Still side-by-side action here from the Team Rad Driver and Supra, and here we go, Hair Razor and Supra drag racing it out. Supra's just got the edge right now on Hair Razor by less than a tenth, and we're still side-by-side. Nope, Hair Razor's going to settle back in behind Supra, and he's going to look around on the inside coming into the next corner. He's going to take that apex away from Supra, and he is going to pull the old switcheroo here on the little kinks in the corners here, but Supra maintaining the pace. He's on the inside line coming into the corner. Are we going to see a little cutback coming here from Hair Razor? No. Supra does a pretty good job at defending the line. Hair Razor's going to take a look on the outside. Supra going extremely defensive here. A little bit of contact between the two cars right there, and they are still battling it out here as Hair Razor settles in behind Supra here coming around that sector, and that was a spicy little battle between those two guys as Supra still holding strong there for the time being anyways. Pardon me, I had to cough there, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. We got Hair Razor here in 7th place. We got Tro Kobe here in 8th. We got Ash in 9th place. Let's go back to Tron here for a second. 7 seconds separating him and Hair Razor there in 7th place, and he's got a big gap to Ash Motorsports, so he's kind of in that no man's land right now. Ash, much of the same thing with Astro right here in 10th position. And Type R closing in here, so Astro after the pit stop, they're just managing to stay ahead of Type R a little bit there, and 2.3 seconds separating those. So Astro's having a good recovery drive here, considering everything that he started with there. Hello, quick like a share, trying to finish a shift quick so I can go and set up and play at the new wheel. Hey, cheers, Kilt. We appreciate you, my guy. You're gonna love it, dude. I'm telling you. That's what I'm playing with right now. It's a blast. All right, so we got Mike here in 2nd place. We got Doug in 3rd position. We got Bar 27 here. He's closed up now. Is closing up now on that group up in front. So Doug and Mike have just kind of tucked in nose to tail here. They realize that Bar and Pigham's here are closing in very, very quickly, and trying not to fight so much here to allow those drivers up ahead to catch up. But there it is, Bar 27 with that half-second track limit penalty, and that is going to hurt his charge a little bit as we go up the racetrack. But he does have Pigham's there, so Pigham's is going to take a look to go around here now. We are side by side here as we come up into the Mulsanne Straight. And wow, very close. These cars are separated only by a splitter right here, side by side right now, almost wheel to wheel as we come down the racetrack here. And coming into the corner, who is going to get it done? Pigham's is going deeper on late on the brakes. He's going to grab that spot just ahead of Bar 27. That was a great racing move right there by Pigham's there in 4th place. We got Bar now settled into 5th place, and that's not ideal for Bar. He was definitely wanting to stay ahead of Pigham's with that penalty to have a chance to stay in the slipstream, and Pigham's was like, okay, nope, I'm out of here now. You got the penalty, mate. It was nice playing with you. We got Hair Razor here in 6th with Supra in 7th place. Supra is tucked right in behind Hair Razor here, and these drivers are starting to settle in and realize that you need that drafting partner to make the distance up on each other here on the racetrack, and we're starting to see these guys link up and not try to battle as much. Paulo coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Welcome in. We appreciate you, my guy. Got Petrolhead here in the lead, 6.7 seconds, maintaining the gap right now on 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th place. So this really is the age-old question: is one car stronger than 2 cars stuck together? And right now, Petrolhead is proving that his pace alone is good enough to hold off 2 cars working together. So we got Doug in 2nd and Mike in 3rd place, and they have completely stopped battling. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that Pigham's and Bar 27 were really starting to close in. A penalty there from Mike 1972, and that's not going to be ideal as Pigham's is charging here in 4th place, but he's got a half-second track limit penalty here now as well, along with Bar 27. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, all 3 of them with track limit penalties. We got Hair Razor in 6th with a half-second track limit penalty, and Supra is going to benefit big time here. He could potentially scoop up 4th position just due to track limit penalties here if he can just stay close enough as he goes up the inside of Hair Razor. That's going to put him on the outside of the next corner there. Hair Razor doing a great job trying to defend there, and a big sideways slide there from Supra, and Hair Razor is going to take a look back up the inside, but Supra's deep enough into the corner there to hold the apex, and Hair Razor is just going to settle right in back behind. And a little cutback there as he comes out of the corner. But again, Super just with some good momentum there. Hairraiser not able to capitalize. There's a good battle between those two drivers here right now on the racetrack without a question of a doubt. Alright, so Petrolhead here still leading the way, and he's got a half-second track limit penalty here as well. So basically the front 7 drivers all have penalties, which means really they're not going to gain on each other at all here, I guess. It's kind of just going to all wash out in the end. But 5.2 seconds now is that gap from Petrol to the group in behind. And it's interesting as we got different tire compounds in play here as well. So he picked his penalty up after that penalty serving line, so he's going to carry that through into the next lap, and he's going to serve that on lap number 9. We got Doug in second place here. He's got 2.2 seconds on third place. Piggums now. So Piggums, after the wash of penalties being served there, ends up in third place, just ahead of Mike 1972, now in a 4th position here as well. So half a second just separating those two drivers. It's about 3 Porsche car lengths in between. We got Bar 27 here. He's a little bit further in behind, 1.6 seconds. Super here in 6th place now, but 1 second ahead of Hairraiser. Hairraiser had to serve a penalty. It looked like out of all the drivers that served penalties, Hairraiser and Piggum seemed to manage the penalty serving the best and get back up to speed the quickest. Got Ash Motorsport here in 8th position. We got Astro now in 9th. We got Type R in 10th. We got Trone here in 11th position, about 2.9 seconds in behind Type R. So Astro's done a good job recovering. He was started on intermediate tires in dry conditions. He pit at the end of lap 1 to get off those tires, and now finds himself up in 9th place. So he did come out after that pit stop 30 seconds in behind the back of the pack, and he has reeled all that time in and back in pit stop sequence with the group as well. So that's a pretty good pace from Astro, and if he didn't have that tire mistake, it'd be very interesting to see where he'd be settled in amongst this mid-pack right now, because he would most certainly be right there with them. 5.7 seconds of gap right now to Petrol and Doug here, separating first and second place. That is going to definitely tighten up the championship points lead. Piggum's right there in 3rd place. He's also fighting for this championship points lead, sitting currently 3rd overall in the standings coming into today's race. Needs to finish ahead of the 2 drivers up in front of him here. We got Mike in 4th position. We got Bar 27 here in 5th. We got Supra in 6th. We got Hairraiser here in 7th. We got Ash in 8th position. We got Astro in 9th place, and potentially our top pro-am here in the field right now is Astro. We got Type R there in 10th, and we got Trone here in 11th. So I think we've only got 3 pro-ams in the field here today. Let's go take a look at that list. Yeah, we only have 3 of our Pro-Ams in the race here today, so good points for those 3 Pro-Am drivers that are here on track today. The rest of our drivers all in that Pro class. So it is Petrolhead still with the lead of the race here. We've been on the race leader for a bit. Let's go see what's happening behind here. We got Doug in 2nd place. You can see a little bit of separation now in this backpack where, you know, it was little groups of 2 drivers. Of course, penalties needed to be sorted out there between the drivers, and then that all got sorted out. Now there's a little bit of spacing between the drivers, so it's a matter of trying to get caught back up into that slipstream again and taking advantage. So you can see Doug's just coming up to the penalty serving line. Ooh, Barr has a big off in the background there, and he's going to lose some positions for sure there as he gets a little bit wide. He gets into the sand there, and that car was sideways, but it looks like he recovered it quite well. So Doug's serving that penalty, and that's going to be Piggums now moving up into 2nd place ahead of Doug there. And that even works better for Petrol right now. If the race were to finish right now, that would put Petrol potentially tied for the lead or in the lead of this race with that fastest lap point over Doug heading into the 2nd last race of the season. And Piggums right now would gain a little bit of points on Doug as well, sitting 1 spot ahead of him. So the championship points may very well come down to the final race of the season between 3 drivers here this season. Supra in 5th place. He's gotten around Barr there with that mistake, and also Hairraiser as well. So Bar 27 is now falling kind of essentially on the back of this front pack in a sense in 7th place, but he's still right there in the slipstream, so he's not all lost there. And then it's about a 30-second gap to Astro here in now 8th place. He's gotten around Ash Motorsport here as well in 9th. Type R in 10th, and Trone's now right on the rear bumper of this Porsche. as we continue to head around the racetrack here, and this is a battle for 10th and 11th place here right now on the racetrack between these two Porsche drivers. And as we enter into the Porsche curves, let's see if we see some action coming out of the Porsche curves. Tron is very close in behind Type R right now on the racetrack, so I mean it looks like that he's anticipating on trying to make a move here on, of course, said driver up in front. We got Jesse coming in with the heart on stream as well. Nice to see you, my man. Hope you're doing fantastic. Alright, so Tron is not going to make a move here on Type R. He's just going to settle in behind here for the time being. Maybe just happy with the pace of that driver up in front. Maybe trying to work together a little bit to try and catch up pace on some of the drivers up in front. It's hard to say, but all we can do is sit here and speculate as a commentator. That's it. That's all we get to do. Alright, so Petra had now that lead cut down to 3.9 seconds, so Pigham's putting in some work here right now in second place, and he's bringing Doug with him here in third place as well. So Doug just on the edge of that slipstream right now of Pigham's. Pigham's is starting to put a little bit of go into that Porsche right now as he's trying to track down the race leader. He knows that he needs to finish ahead of both of these guys as well to try and close up that championship points lead for a championship title for himself here as well. We got Mike here in fourth place. He's about 2 seconds off that group, so even if they have a quick little battle, that should be enough for him to gain about a half second on those two guys up in front. Super here in fifth place, carrying a half-second track limit penalty here, and boy, penalties so easy to get here at Le Mans. Track officials again usually keeping it pretty tight. Hair Raiser making a little mistake there, gets the old tank slapper in that Porsche as it just threw the back end of that, well, that's at the front end of this car around, I guess, essentially. It made that car slide a little bit there, and that cost him a position at bar 27, and of course cost him a half-second track limit penalty just to add a little insult to injury there as well. So the good old tank slapper got a Hair Raiser caught out a little bit there, but we still have lots of racing left. Still got 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes, just over, pardon me, 20 minutes remaining here left to go here today. So we got Ash in 9th place, we got Tron in 10th, and we got Type R here in 11th, and I'm assuming we're going to start seeing some pit stop sequences coming here from some of our drivers here. Again, it was about the 20-minute mark. We've seen that first round of pit stops. It's going to be about the secondary 20-minute mark. I'm sure we're going to see most of those guys pit again. We'll see fuel, how much fuel they took, how much fuel they take in this last stop. If they change tires, there's a lot of factors that are now going to come into play for the last 20 minutes of the race here. So the crews are hard at work, the drivers are hard at work trying to do what they need to do to give themselves a shot for a race win here today. Pigham's is 3.2 seconds in behind Petrol here now, and really trying to close that gap up here on that driver up in front. Got Doug in third place, and he's just right there chilling in behind Pigham's, 1.8 seconds. He's got Mike 3 seconds in behind him here as well. And Doug Bro, another Team Rad driver here as well on the racetrack here today. We got Mike 1972 here. And I believe independent driver this driver is. I believe, I could be wrong. Here in fourth place, and he's got 5.2 seconds to Supra here. So Supra has lots of fight in him here, but a little off the pace of that front pack right now. And he's fighting hard to keep off the back two drivers of Hair Raiser and bar 27 here in 6th and 7th place. Astro in 8th position. There we go. Pigham's and Doug jumping into pit lane there. We've got Astro here in 8th position. We've got Ash in 9th. We've got Tron here in 10th. So Tron has managed to get around Type R, and Type R here in 11th position. So when is our race leader going to come in? He's going to work on opening that gap up while these guys are pitting in behind. He did stretch his first stint out pretty good there. And I mean, still has a fairly decent amount of fuel in the tank as well. So he may have the winning strategy here today. We'll have to wait and find out. Alright, Get a little coffee in the system here. Let's keep going, ladies and gentlemen. Petro is still leading the charge. He's got a good gap, but these guys are going to have to pit at some point throughout the race yet. So, with the amount of fuel they got in the tank, I'm not suspecting we're going to see that within the next couple laps here yet. So we'll just keep an eye on our race leaders here for the time being. Bar 27 has gone around again as well. And different strategies from the front three here. Pigham's pit early here. He's out. He's in 4th place. We got Doug has also pit in 5th place here. 2 seconds separating those two drivers right now. Supra here in 6th place, and he's picked himself up a nice handful of penalties there. A 3-second pit lane infraction and a half-second track limit penalty there. So that's going to hurt that runaway from Hair Raiser here, who's about 3.2 seconds in behind right now. May even hurt the charge of Tron Kobe chasing in behind here as well. Astro in 9th place. This guy's had a great recovery drive here today. He's now on that mandated hard tire. We've got Ash Motorsport here in 10th. We got Type R there in 11th position. So it is Petrolhead here still with the lead. 9.5 second gap is that race lead gap to Mike 1972 in behind. Bar 27 here is about 6 seconds in behind Mike 1972 here as well. You can see just up ahead there in that Royal Bank of Scotland livery. Love it. TT Pigham's here in 4th position as well. And the gap is about 2.2 seconds to Doug here. Now, Doug has pace, and we all know Doug has pace. Doug is going to want to try and close that up and get tucked back in to that slipstream. And these two working together may very well be able to push the limits of the drivers up in front. We got Supra here in 6th place, and that is going to be a long penalty serve when he finally has to come and serve the Piper on that one. We got Hair Raiser in 7th position, and he's definitely going to pick up that position on Supra when that penalty is served. That 3.5 second penalty is going to turn probably into about a 5 second penalty, unfortunately, by the time he gets back up to speed. And that may be just close enough for Tron Kobe to capitalize on that penalty as well. So he needs to keep pushing here and try to close that gap up as much as he can. And he may be rewarded with a position there. Astro in 9th place. We got Ash in 10th, and we got Type R in 11th. Now, our track officials, race control, it does not mess around with that pit line. You cannot cross that solid white line when you're entering or exiting pit lane. And that's the line that's on the side of the hot lap traffic. Typically, they'll give you a little more allowance on the right-hand side solid line. You can usually cut that line a little bit without penalty, but boy, you really got to watch how much of that you cut coming in and out of pit lane on the hot lap traffic side, and that's where that 3 second penalty will get you. So we got Mike 1972 coming in, and we got Bar 27 also coming into pit lane. So Pigham's is 45 seconds behind Petrolhead, the leader, so I don't think he's going to quite grab that spot. I think Petrolhead's going to come back out in front of Pigham's and Doug here, but I think that's definitely going to draw them in much closer. So Petrolhead potentially has a good strategy rolling here, and the other two drivers following suit with our race leader. The bigger question is, can they hold the charge off from Pigham's and Doug Burrow in 4th and 5th place? Both very fast drivers, 1st and 3rd overall in the championship point standings here. Pigham's in 3rd. Doug is our championship points leader. So Petrolhead comes out about 6 seconds ahead of Pigham's and Doug Burrow here in 3rd place. So it is on now between these drivers. Petrolhead still has fastest lap on track as well. Mike 1972 here in 4th place. Got Bar 27 here in 5th. And now we've got some gaps. So of course, drivers taking different fuel loads and all these things as they come out of pit lane. Hair Raiser here in 6th place. He's got Supra on the hunt here in 7th. Supra is now served that 3.5 second penalty and has stayed relatively close to Hair Raiser. Drone coming into pit lane there, and side-by-side battling now between the two drivers here as we come into this very high-speed kink. And great job there by the two drivers. Of course, the tire advantage belonging to Supra there, but this is good for Hair Raiser. You can sit in that slipstream now and let Supra do some of the work and pull him along. We got Astro here in 8th place, just picking up a half-second track limit penalty there in that last sector. Ash Motorsport in 9th place, big gap there right now. Trone is about 10 seconds to him, and Type R here in 11th, about 14 seconds. All right, so our race leader, the lead was 6 seconds, is down to 5.6, and slowly but surely just dropping little bit by little bit here. Just checking out the times from this driver here. Consistency's been hit and miss here from the race leader too, so consistency always really is key. Even in shorter endurance racing like these hour-long races, consistency really can make a big difference on your race result. We got Pickham's here in 2nd position, and consistency, lots of consistency there for that driver right now. As you can see, 4:09 is best lap on track. That was just right before the pit stop there. Got Doug Burrow here in 3rd place, and definitely looking like a 4:01 or a 4-minute lap being his best lap as well too. As you see some 4:02s on the board there. None of them are purple, so or blue, pardon me. 4:01 flat is Mike 1972's best lap here so far in this race as well, in the 4th position. We got Bar 27 here. His best recorded lap is not within those laps that we can see apparently. Supra and Hair Racer still battling it out here for 6th and 7th position. And as we come up the run here, let's see who's going to get the position. Hair Racer, I believe, has the advantage here right now, but it is by such minuscule amounts. It is really hard to say which one of these two drivers is going to get the overall position here as we come in around in through these final sectors of the racetrack. And we got a couple of tight little corners to go here, and then we'll be into the Porsche curves. So Supra does have the inside line coming around this left-hander, and that is going to allow him to stay ahead of Hair Razor there. But boy, Hair Razor battling it out hard here with Supra right now in 6th place and doing a great job of it. And these two, Supra's been fighting hard all race long. He's been fighting with all kinds of different drivers on the racetrack here. Right now, the battles with Hair Razor, who's tucked right back in behind. Got Astro here in 8th position. It's 25 seconds to those guys up in front of him. Ash is trying to close up Astro, 6.7 seconds now the gap. Trone is 9.9 seconds in behind Ash Motorsport here in 10th place. Half-second track limit penalty there. Penalties have been killing some of the drivers today for sure. 16 seconds the gap from our 11th place driver, so he's losing a little bit of time on the back of the pack here currently on the racetrack. But it is Petrolhead here with the race lead, but it is dwindling. It's down to 4.3 seconds, and he's got a half-second track limit penalty there. That's going to easily kill another second off that gap. So it is going to be a race on here with 10 minutes left. We're going to see 3 more laps to go here around the racetrack. Got Piggums here in 2nd place, 4.4 seconds that gap right now. We'll be keeping our eye on that. 2.5 seconds to 3rd place driver Doug Barrow here, who has been, well, chasing these guys down all day long. He's been a fight for the lead. Between these 4 guys here specifically, especially Mike 1972 here as well in 4th place. He's only just under 3 seconds in behind Doug right now as well. Bar 27 here in 5th place. He's got about 6 seconds in between him and 4th place up ahead. He's got about the same in between him and Supra in 6th place in behind, currently on a fastest lap right now as well. Personal fastest lap of the race anyways. Supra here in 6th position, and starting to open the gap up a little bit here now on Hair Razor in 7th place. Got Astro in 8th place, and again he's got kind of in no man's land. Some of the drivers are here right now. They're really just got their heads down trying to close up those gaps in between each other to potentially maybe gain one more position before the end of this race, which is dwindling. We're down to under 9 minutes remaining, so Petrolhead needs to hold on for 3 more laps, but that lead is dwindling. It's down to 4.1 seconds, and we have yet to see the penalty being served here by Petrolhead as well. So that's going to cost more time on the racetrack. He's going to have to really watch out, make sure he doesn't pick another one up there. He may have just done so as well there with that slide. And we don't see an add-on to that half second there, so a little bit of net coding what we're seeing too. It's a little hard to judge sometimes. What you can see now just off in the distance is Piggums and Doug and Mike 1972. So Piggums has got it down to under 4 seconds here now. Doug is still 3 seconds in behind him, and Mike 1972 still much of the same in behind Doug here in 4th place as well. But a 1 second penalty there for Mike 1972, and that is not what he needs. Trying to chase down Doug Burrow there in 3rd place. That is definitely going to hurt the charge, especially late in the race like it is. So Piggums is eating away at that gap of the leader here, and penalty still needing to be served here for our race leader as well. So we're going to see that gap close up another second when that penalty needs to be served. Of course, pending that this driver doesn't pick one up along the way. We got Doug Burrow there in 3rd place, and that 1 second track limit penalty there from Mike in 4th position. Barr is, what, 6.4 seconds in behind there. We just seen Barr just come around the corner in the distance there, so he's going to gain a good solid 1.5, 2 seconds on Mike there. So here we go. Petrohead serves that penalty. Let's watch that live timer. Down to 3, down to 2.8, down to 2.6, 2.5, 2.4, 2.3, 2.2. Full second lost at 2nd place driver Piggums right there with that 1/2 second track limit penalty, and still coming down. Piggums smells blood in the water, and it is 2 seconds ahead on the track in front of him. Doug Burrow here 2.4 seconds in behind Piggums as well. He's gaining some time here on Piggums, and the charge is on. Here we go, folks. 4th place here, Mike 1972. That 1 second penalty definitely hurting a little bit there on the charge up to the podium, but now he's got to worry about bar 27 charging here and behind in 5th place as well. A little bit of net coding coming from that driver here today. A little bit coming from this driver here today as well. Supra in 6th place. He's had a very spicy race today, that is for sure. Definitely one of the more active battling cars on the racetrack here today. Hair Razor in 7th place. Good solid drive from him. Astro in 8th. We got Ash Motorsport here in 9th. We've got Trone rolling through here in 10th position, and a Type R here in 11th. So let's get back up in front here as we're coming to lap 15. And that is 2 to go here, ladies and gentlemen. So it is going to come down to the next couple laps and drivers' consistency. Who's going to push? Who's got the car left to push? Who's going to get the perfect lap? Petrohead still has the fastest lap on the racetrack right now, so that is a bonus point in pocket for that driver if he can hold on to it. But he has 2 very fast drivers charging right now in TT's Piggums and Doug Burrow. And a 1/2 second track limit penalty picked up there for Doug Burrow, and penalty's been killing some of our drivers here today for sure. Doug Burrow's had a few. We got Mike in 4th position. We got Bar 27 in 5th. We got Supra here in 6th. We got Hare in 7th. We got Astro in 8th. So our lead Pro-Am there in 8th place overall. 1st in the division. Trone Kobe 9th overall. 2nd in the division. Having a pretty good race for himself here. So Petrohead here doing a good job now managing the gap. He hasn't let that gap close up anymore. So he's opened it up a couple tenths, if anything. Piggums chasing there in 2nd place. We got Doug 2.8 seconds in behind, but that penalty is going to kill his charge to 2nd place there potentially. Mike 1972 in 4th place. Bar 27 charging hard here. He's closing it quickly, 4.4 seconds a gap, but he picks up a 1/2 second track limit penalty, and that's not ideal with Super starting to close in behind in 6th place as well. So yeah, anything can happen in this top 6, especially here right now over the next lap and a half around Le Mans. So it is Petrohead still leading this race and has led the majority of the race here today. Once he got out in some clean air, he hasn't really looked back. He's used strategy to his advantage to try and keep that car out in front, and has done so leading up to this point of the race. But he is got a mirror full of Porsches starting to try and chase him down in behind here, but we are running out of time on this race. We have just under 4 minutes remaining here, and the gap is about 2 seconds. A little slide there from Petrol as he comes around. Piggums much more controlled corner, same from Doug there. What does that relate to? An exit? It relates to time being taken away from the race leader by our 2nd place driver Piggums, but it is not a lot of gain. It is thousands of seconds right now separating each corner between these 2 drivers, and that is just not enough gain for the 2nd place driver to make this battle happen before the end of this race. But it is a long lap around Le Mans. We got Doug here, he's 3 seconds in behind, and you know that penalty is definitely not helping the cause. Mike there with a 1 second penalty, Bar with a 1/2 second penalty. Supra's in a good spot here right now if he can keep pushing right now, if these guys continue to pick up these penalties. A little bit of a slide there from Petrol as he comes around that corner. You can see he's just absolutely pushing really hard here right now, not to allow Piggums to gain that ground on him here, and he's doing a good job at maintaining the gap. 2.2 seconds is that gap right now between Petrol and Piggums. So potentially the closest battle on track really is kind of between first and second place here right now, I think, as we kind of look through the field. I mean, Barr's about 2.8 seconds in behind Mike. Super's now under 5 seconds in behind Bar, and Hair Razor has still a nice gap to Astro there, so keeping his eyes on this. But Petrol's opening the gap back up a little bit here, so he's settled himself back down a little bit. He's got that car back into go mode, and we are going to be coming around here to start our final lap of the race, as our race leaders are coming across the start finish line here in about 10 seconds time or less. And it's a good lap here from Petrol. It's a 4-minute lap from Petrol. It's a 4-minute lap from Piggums as well. So Piggums about 0.4 of a second faster that last time around over Petrol Head. The gap now down to 1.7 seconds. Final lap here. Dugborough coming around in third place. Mike's going to get one more time. Bar's going to go one more time around. We got Supra here in sixth position. He's going to get to go around one more time as well. And I felt like Mike might have been maybe fuel saving a little bit there with how quickly Bar 27 has reeled it back in, but it is just go time. So 1.8 seconds separating first and second place right now. Dugborough there in third place. He's in a pretty good comfy spot right now. We got Mike here in fourth place. We got Bar 27 here in fifth place here as well, and the gap is 1.3 seconds, so we may see a battle between those two yet before the end of the race. Super here trying to close back up on those two, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get there in time. We got Tron Colby and Ash Motorsport here very close together, so Tron Colby looking for a final spot on his final lap of the race here too, as they come around, and there is time on the clock, so these two are going to go around one more time. So this is not over yet between these two. And Type R coming around here, he's going to get his final lap of the race here as well. So let's get back up front and see what's happening out front here. Right now it is Petrol Head here holding on to us 1.7 second gap over Piggums. Piggums has opened the gap up to Dugborough a little bit here, 4 seconds now that gap. That's not Piggums' concern. Piggums' concern is trying to figure out a way to close up 1.7 seconds on Petrol Head in the next half a lap. It's going to have to be done through the turning sectors here now. He has to get it all right, just be absolutely perfect, maybe even run a personal best lap here right now to catch Petrol Head. Petrol Head is just flying around this racetrack currently. We got Doug here, he's in third position. Mike here in fourth place. Bar is still right there and closing 1.1 seconds now that gap. We're going to be keeping our eye on these two drivers here as they're coming around. We got Supra in sixth, we got Hair Razor in seventh, we got Astro in eighth, we've got Ash Motorsport here in ninth, we've got Tron in 10th position, and we got Type R here in 11th place. So all 11 drivers still on track, so that is a beauty thing to see. That's what we love to see. And the gap is closing. Okay, here we go. I think we got to stick it right here, and we got to keep our eye on this fourth and fifth place battle here as well, because this is where the action is here at the end of the race right now. Piggums got that gap down to 1.3. It's the closest it's been for the majority of this race. And we are getting very near the Porsche curves here. There is time is running out. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there. A little bit of a slide from Piggums as well as he came around, and the push is on. Petrol Head running away for his life. Piggums trying to track that man down in second place for that race win. A race win here for Piggums would be huge in the standings, but it's also just as huge for Petrol Head as well. So it is not going to be given up easily if it does come down to that battle. We can take a look here as Doug is right there. We got Mike and Bar here. Bar is now in the slip, so Bar has done everything he needs to get into the slipstream. Now he just needs to get caught up to Mike and find a way around him. Let's keep an eye on the race lead as we head into the Porsche curves here, and the lap very quickly disappearing here for this battle to develop. 1.5 seconds to gap, and man, oh man, is Piggums and Petrol pushing hard right now. And it does appear like it is going to be Petrol Head here who's going to hold off a very tough race win here in round 7 at Le Mans. and strategy and some good hard racing here. Looks like it's going to pay off for him, and it's going to be a first place finish here for Petrolhead as he comes across the line. It's going to be a very close second place for Pigums, and Doug following just in behind here in third place. So there is our podium today, ladies and gentlemen. Mike and Bar 27 still very close together, half a second separating the two, but Mike 1972 is going to hold him off for fourth place. Bar 27 from Apex Sim Racing is going to take that fifth place finish. Congratulations to him. That was a hard fought race here for Supra. He's going to take that mid-pack finish here today in the sixth place. It's going to be Hair Razor coming across the line. It's going to be a seventh place finish here for him today, overall and in class. And great job there by the Team Rad driver, Hair Razor. Alright, so it's going to be Astro. It's going to be an 8th place overall finish here for Astro, but it is first place in class here today. So that is going to be the top of the Pro-Am podium here for Astro today. And that was a fantastic drive because it didn't start off so great here for this driver today. He had to make an extra pit stop, but clearly he wasn't ready for this race, had good pace, and drove himself back up in to win the Pro-Am division here in round 7. So congratulations to Astro. We got Ash Motorsport. It's going to be a 9th overall finish. He's getting the business here from Tro and Kobe, and it's going to be an 8th overall for Pro, and it's going to be 2nd overall for Tro and Kobe in Pro-Am, which is good for his charge for that championship, and 10th place overall here in the race. And Type R is going to take that final podium position here in Pro-Am, and he's going to take an 11th place overall finish here today at Le Mans. So all our Pro-Am drivers getting podium points here today. Pays to show up to the races, that's for sure. And Type R are going to take that final podium spot here for our Pro-Am division here as well. Heavy Pro field here today at Le Mans. Not too surprised to see it, but some Pro-Ams coming out to tackle the beast as well. And Type R could be the last driver to bring this thing around here for us today, and great a job to all of our drivers here on the racetrack. GG, but it is Petrolhead with race win here today, and that is a very well needed race win for his run for a championship title. So it is Petrolhead with fastest lap as well. It's going to be TT Piggums in 2nd, Doug Burrow in 3rd, Mike in 4th, Bar 27 in 5th, Supra in 6th, Hair Razor in 7th, Astro in 8th. It's going to be Ash Motorsport here in 9th place, Tro and Kobe in 10th, and Type R rounding out the field here in 11th position. Alright, fantastic stuff here by all of our drivers. And we'll give them an opportunity to jump in and do some interviews. Hey, how's it going, Blaine? How you doing, brother? All right, so some of the drivers have a race series that they are running directly to after this race series, so we may not catch all of our podium interviews, but we'll be looking for our top 3 overall here on our race today, which will be Petrolhead, Piggums, and Doug Barrow. And of course, we'll be looking for our overall Pro-Am winner, Astro, in the booth here today as well. You know it, buddy. You know it. The big sign for the team today. That was a big sign. He's going to be a very big attribute for the team, for sure. That was some great racing by our drivers today. Tough quarters out there at Le Mans. I mean, this is no joke. This is a tough racetrack. It has a little bit of everything involved in it. It's got lots of technical. It's got some high speed. And you can see it's got lots of track limit penalties that the officials like to hand out. So just great racing here by everybody today. And we'll just give it another minute or two here for the drivers to make their way to the booth. We do have our 3rd place finisher overall here, Doug Burrow, sitting in the booth. So we'll go have a chat with him in just a moment's time, and then we'll see if anybody else pops in. Loving it. Hey. That was a great racing here from the GTRC community as always, so welcome back everybody. We are back again to our regular programming here at GT45 Gaming. We appreciate everybody's patience while we took a little time away from the stream. Needed a little holiday. So we are back in action here. So we got 4 more weeks of GTRC racing, 1 month left, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 more rounds of Mini Cooper racing, and we got 2 more rounds of Porsche Cup racing, and then we'll have a whole new set of fun stuff being released here from the GTRC for their next upcoming seasons, which I'm gonna have to guess is probably going to be in the new year here, with Christmas time lingering very close already. My goodness. But great racing here at Le Mans today from this group in this Porsche Cup, and I mean, this is a road to the road to the Cup now. We are 3 rounds away. This one's in the books. That leaves 2 races left to go, and the way this race finished today, it is going to be tight in the standings. All right. So it looks like we got just Doug here for now. So we'll go ahead and have a nice little chat with Doug from Team Rad. So also one of the administrators here at the GTRC community, always doing great work behind the scenes and always putting on great pace on the racetrack. So welcome into the interview box, and great job out there today. Very tough racetrack and some pretty crazy spotty showers there at the beginning of the race. Really kind of stirred up the driving community a little bit there, but overall coming out with a great third place finish here today, coming in with the championship points lead. The way the race finished today, that is definitely going to become a little bit closer moving into round 8 in 2 weeks time. How was your race today, and talk us through it?
Our race wasn't too bad. I was off my usual pace. I guess my typical thing. I'm not feeling well, so it was a struggle. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I picked up more penalties today in this race than I picked up in a week's worth of practice. So yeah, it's a strange one. It was a strange one, but it was fun. I couldn't do anything about the boys in front. My fastest lap was faster than has been faster than the fastest lap time in the race. So I've got to look back at what maybe I wasn't doing right. Maybe I'm just not feeling good, and my reactions are a bit down today. I don't know. But it was a really good race, and it's a shame what happened right at the beginning happened, because I think that little bit of rain at the very beginning would have made it very interesting. But when the room reset, we got no rain. So it was a good race. It was a good race.
Absolutely. And I mean, we were talking early on in the broadcast with the viewers before you guys all got kicked off there, and we were talking about how slipstream is really going to be an important part of your guys' race strategy here today. And very early on in the race, even after the first pit stop sequence, there was a lot of pack racing, as we like to call it, 2 or 3 cars just kind of sitting nose to tail, not really trying to battle to cost each other time to try and catch up that next group. And I mean, obviously as that second pit stop sequence kicked in, that kind of separated everybody up a little bit. But we talk about penalties as well. You weren't the only one that was having a rough day from track officials handing out those penalties there as well. But very, very racy race today as well in the early parts. I mean, talk about how it is going. I mean, this is a world famous racetrack. It's Le Mans. This is a lot of racers say this is one of the toughest racetracks in the world, and if you really want to test your mettle as a racer, come run Le Mans, do the 24-hour Le Mans. So I mean, talk about the things that are going through your mind as you're coming around this absolutely insanely high speed, very technical racetrack. What are the types of things that are going through your mind when you're sitting there in traffic in a pack like that? Are you thinking about maybe making a move, or are you content with pushing? I mean, what goes through your mind in those types of situations?
Well, historically for me, this track has been a nightmare in every league race I've ever done with it. I've been punted off somewhere by someone. So for me, it's if I can, I don't feel like I catch up with the car in front as quick as the cars in behind catch up with me. That's obviously a psychosomatic thing, and it's one of those things. But I like to try and push and keep myself going as fast as I can. I feel if I slow down a bit, I make mistakes, which would explain today me being off my pace. But there are certain times where it is very beneficial around this circuit to bump draft and push and just try, and it helps with fuel, definitely, because it's a very heavy fuel circuit. But it just, if you can do it, it's good. And the group of guys we race around with, the majority of them, you're more than happy to run in a pack. Be nose to tail, as you've seen throughout the leagues you've commentated for us. We're quite happy to run nose to tail. There's sometimes some touching, and the only times anybody isn't happy doing it in the group is if someone's got a lot of lag on. So it's a good bunch of lads to do that with. And I mean, here's one of those things you got to try and. I think a lot of the mistakes come from people not getting out of the slip as they're coming up to the corner, so they can't see anything, and you end up getting that little bump. So I always try to come out a little bit early. That way, my intentions are there. If I'm nice and close, my intentions are there for I can get up the inside. If I feel they break early, if not, if I feel they're going to break at a good time, I'll just lift off slightly and get it back in behind them and try and follow them down the next straight. So yeah, it's one of those circuits. You got to be confident with it, otherwise it's all going to go horribly wrong. But you got to be confident with the people around you, if you see what I mean.
Absolutely, and again,
Sorry,
you know,
long-winded answer.
I mean, the spotty weather here at the beginning part of the race really kind of changed things up a little bit here too. So it was a very interesting and entertaining race, needless to say, here today at Le Mans. And I mean, you know, the weather at Le Mans is in, you know, realism in real life actually kind of much of the same thing. So we always see some pretty crazy stuff at 24-hour Le Mans every year when they run the big shows. So you know, great job of Gran Turismo with the dynamic weather feature here as well. But you know, you survived, you got through it. An hour long is no joke. The concentration required on this racetrack is phenomenal, and congratulations on a really great race for yourself here today. And any final remarks and any shoutouts you'd like to throw out to the viewers watching at home?
I just wanted to say, firstly, with regards to what you said about the weather, it went grey a few times. I had my fingers crossed for rain. But no, I'd like to say thank you to you, firstly, for, you know, being here, doing this for us, giving us your time. It's amazing. It's muchly appreciated. Cheers to Team Rad for taking me on. I thought I was going to be one of the only guys in our group not in a team, so that's a plus. Obviously, I've been running their colours all season, but I've not had the opportunity to say thank you to anyone yet. You know, cheers to all the guys for making this happen. We were down on the numbers today, which was a shame. But, you know, cheers to everyone that was here. And, you know, thanks to Ray's running the race as well. I know he had a nightmare quali, so he did a good job. Well done to Petrol and Piggums. As I said earlier, I couldn't do anything about them. And, yeah, thanks to everyone or anyone who was watching, if there was anyone. We appreciate that. And once again, thank you to you. Muchly appreciated, mate.
Absolutely, and you know our OGs are in here watching like they do every week, my guy. There's always somebody here to come watch you guys put on a great show every week. So that's right, we are back. Spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to our full duties as commentator here again at GT45 Gaming. So we'll be bringing the rest of this great season to everybody every Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Next week will be those Mini Coopers, and boy, oh boy, those things are a blast to watch these guys race around. But before we do any of that, we're going to go talk to our race winner. We appreciate you, my guy, Doug. Congratulations on that third place finish, and we'll let you get back to that Team Rad clubhouse and go celebrate with the team back there.
Thank you very much, bud. You take it easy. Cheers, bud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our third place finisher. That was some great racing by him, but this man right here, Petrolhead, coming in with a massive race here today. Pre-race, we were talking with him a little bit behind the scenes in the paddock, and we see some chatter there. There's a little bit of friendly banter going on with his competition. Coming in second overall in the championship point standings, 4 points behind Doug. He needed to be ahead of Doug to grab a little bit of points gain, but hey, even better. Got a little bit of help from Piggums, putting another car in between him and Doug, and with that fastest lap bonus, I do believe that is going to be enough to put Petrolhead with a very slim lead heading into round number 8. So great racing. Congratulations. You had a great pace out there today. Let's talk about qualifying first. You know, you guys go to qualify, the rain hits, everybody had to make emergency tire swap real quick, get out there, do your qualifying. Did that shake you at all heading in towards the racing conditions, or is that just a part of racing and it's just another day at the office?
So it did shake me because I had done, I legitimately got my internet back today, so I had done no practice in over 2 weeks after missing last weekend, the last round as well. So basically I had done only dry practice, so when the rain turned up, it was a bit of a surprise. Obviously ended up doing qualifying quite well for the surprise that it was. Then, to be fair, when I was the total opposite of Doug during the race, to be fair, anytime the clouds turned up, I was praying that they would just start chucking it down. Because I don't think my race pace would have been brilliant on like on the inters or the wets. with no wet practice at all. But I'm glad the weather stayed away. Found myself surprisingly quick, and was able to save that bit more fuel in the first stint, which made the final stint a lot easier on needing fuel and a good short fuel. To be fair, I came into this race with the one goal of staying in front of Doug and Higgins, and I did that. So, good race for me.
Absolutely. You showed incredible race pace. I mean, you had some good early battling when the race started off. You got yourself in that fight between yourself and Doug for the lead in Supra, or very early on, pardon me, for the lead. You know, you guys were just kind of swapping that back and forth up the straightaways in the slipstream. You know, no real hard battling, not really costing yourselves any, significant car fatigue or driver fatigue there, just kind of par for the course with the nature of this racetrack. And then, you guys make your first pit stop, you guys kind of get that through that sequence, and you find yourself out in the lead. You got some open air and you got a little bit of a gap, and you really controlled the race pretty much for the majority of the race due to that being able just to save that little extra fuel, and of course setting up that final pit stop for a short fuel. So we come into that final pit stop sequence. You have about 3.5 seconds gap to Pigham's and that chasing pack in behind you when you pit, and when you come out, you come out about 6 seconds ahead of that group, and then Pigham's doing what Pigham's does and Doug doing what Doug does back to really starting to push the envelope, really starting to close up that gap. What was going through your mind in the last 15-20 minutes of the race with about 5 laps to go? You're just seeing that gap dwindle, and that gap dwindle. You picked up a track limit penalty there with about 3 to go, which cost you a significant amount of time, and Pigham's is now in your rearview mirror at that point. So what's going through your brain in the latter dying moments of the race as you're kind of trying to figure out how you're going to keep that gap from Pigham's getting into the slipstream?
Well, obviously after getting that last penalty towards the end of the race, all I was thinking was, okay, focus up, concentrate, just drive within your limits. Don't push too much. Don't push the envelope. As long as you keep it on the track and don't really make mistakes, you're going to finish in front of Pigham's. You can allow a little bit of time here and there, as long as I made sure that he would have never had the opportunity to get into my slipstream. That was the thoughts going through my mind. Just make sure that Pigham's didn't end up in my slipstream towards the end of the race. I did back off a little bit after that penalty, just so I didn't get another one, because getting a penalty around here is terrible for your race.
Absolutely, and when you pick up the half-second track limit penalty late in the race, there, I mean, that related to about 1.1 seconds as Pigham's was closing down the straight on you there. So, the penalty is essentially doubling here at Le Mans, obviously due to where the penalty serving zone is. It's in a very high-speed section of the racetrack, and you lose a lot of momentum. But, you did everything right today. You had great strategy, you had great pace, and you stayed really consistent. So, you stayed out of track official trouble for the most part with those track limit penalties, unlike some of the drivers in the field who really got hammered down today with penalties. But great racing, and you did exactly what you needed to do today. I mean, you knew you had to come in, you knew you had to finish ahead of Doug, and at the end of the day, you got a little extra help from second place driver Pigham's there, putting an extra car in between you. So I believe that you're going to be coming out with a 1-point advantage here heading into round 8, of course, pending official results and stewarding and all that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. But it looked like a pretty tidy race from this group, so I don't think we're going to see any incident reports happening here. But so I guess what's the mindset? You got 2 rounds left, and when we get into the finale in round 9, I mean, there's no joke here that you guys are going to be separated by maybe a couple of points from first to third place. So I guess, what's your preparation? I mean, the next 2 tracks on the list, are you comfortable with them? Kind of what's the game plan, I guess, moving forward for the next month here?
Well, St. Croix is going to be interesting, because I've never really driven the Porsche around there. I've driven other Group 3 cars around there, but never really the Porsche. So next 2 weeks is going to be a lot of practicing for that. The A1 ring, I refuse to call it by its new name. I do dislike it so much. But the A1 ring, I don't know. Because I'm generally poor at that track due to being on a controller compared to other people. But Red Bull, well, A1 ring should be very interesting, very very interesting, and St. Croix.
Absolutely. I mean, two great tracks on the docket for the end of the season. We have two tracks that are, well, one's very speedy and technical, but allows for great side by side racing. And I mean, well, the other one, Red Bull Ring. I mean, come on, it always makes for great racing, plain and simple. It's a track that is fairly well known to most of the racers, so that means that the pace should be quite quick around that racetrack. But great racing from you today. It's a lot of fun to watch you really pushing the limits. And as you guys just heard watching at home, he's a controller, pad player as well. So great tire wear, great fuel conservation, and great pace coming from this guy. And for all you controller players out there that say it can't be done, it can be done. It can be done. Just got to talk to the right people and reach out, ask for a little bit of help. I'm sure they'll always be willing to give you some pointers on that pad, because it is definitely a little bit difficult. But great racing from you. I definitely can't wait to see you put the pressure. I mean, Pigums and Doug are defending champions essentially here at the GTRC in the big series, the GT3 series, and we got a new player in the mix with Petrolhead. So really great racing. I guess any final remarks you'd like to throw onto your race here today, and any shoutouts you'd like to throw to the viewers at home watching?
Well, first off, thank you to you for commentating on what was a very good race. I mean, I was out the front the entire time, so I didn't really see the battles behind me. I'll watch it back. But thank you for commentating, and to Razor for hosting. Good race from Pigums and Doug, keeping me honest. Actually, shout out to Supra with his pole position today, because that came out of nowhere. He deserved that. And to be fair, I need to thank him as well, because he helped me save that extra lap of fuel to make the strategy work, actually. Thank you to my sponsors, Motorsport 101. Great guys over there, great podcast. If you ever need a different side to motorsport, check them out. Other than that, my final remarks is it costs nothing to be nice. You don't know what people are going through, just be nice to them.
Couldn't agree more. Very well said, my guy, and we appreciate you, and congratulations on a great race. And with that being said, we'll let you get back to that clubhouse and go celebrate with that great racing team that's putting such a great Porsche on the track week in and week out for us to watch.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I shall see you in 2 weeks for round 8.
Sounds good. And Petrolhead going to be potentially coming in as championship points leader, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get a round of applause for our race winner today, because he had a plan. He knew what he needed to do, and boy, did he put it into execution today. So 2 rounds of racing left, and the top 3 split by mere 3 or 4 points, ladies and gentlemen. So you're not going to want to miss 2 weeks' time at round 8. Congratulations to all the drivers on the racetrack as well. Petrolhead, Pigums, and Doug Burrow for our top 3 overall, and our top 3 also in the Pro Division. And of course, congratulations to Astro, Tron Colby, and Type R for their top 3 in Pro-Am. Astro didn't come in to say a few words with us here, which is all fine and dandy. That is A-OK. And I know I could speak on behalf of Pigums. Pigums would have just said, he had a lot of fun today. It was great racing out there. He would have said congratulations, of course, to Doug and Petrol. And I guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that Pigums would have proudly said, Petrol, he had great pace today, and that is a very well-earned win. Pigums was pushing at the end of that race. I know this driver well. You could see he was pushing. He was putting it right on the edge to try and catch Petrolhead, and Petrolhead just wasn't having it today. So second place finish for Pigums, but that is going to tighten up his points gain to Doug Burrow there and Petrolhead as well. So very, very close leading into round number 8 in 2 weeks' time here at the same place. So we have it all the time. GT45 Gaming and GTRC YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday afternoons. Just like to say thank you on behalf of the Gran Turismo racing community for all the support, race in, race out, season in and season out, year in and year out. We can't do it without the viewers at home. It's the drive and the motivation for these drivers to continue to put on the greatest show that we can. Congratulations to the whole field of drivers today. Tough racing out there, some pretty crazy weather. If you don't know what we're talking about, go check out the early part of the stream. It was an absolutely crazy start to the race today. But sure made for some fun on the racetrack today. And you know what? It just goes to show that the skill and the caliber of these drivers in this community, just to stay focused with all the craziness that was happening on around, and lock it in and put on an absolutely incredible show here for everybody at home. So GG's to all the drivers. Riley, my guy, I see you, my man, you legend. Hope you're doing well, dude. Let's go do a little quick catching up. Make sure we haven't missed too much. We got Doug saying great race, great commentary. Thanks, guys. Up at the YouTube channel over there, we got Blaine and Paula coming in with the heart, Kilt with the multiple shares and the like on stream. We got Jesse Limekiller and Nolander with the hearts on stream. We got Chris with the share and the like, Paul with the like, Aaron with the like. GT45 Gaming with the share, baby. Sharing is caring. We all know this, right, chat? No, I'm kidding. We love you. Appreciate your support. On behalf of myself and GT45 Gaming and the administration staff, we appreciate support broadcasting and broadcast out, no matter what it is we're doing. Obviously, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everybody at home watching at home. So I appreciate y'all, and we are back full time to our regular normal content again. So stay tuned for, well, tomorrow night, PRL. We're going to have Division 2 from Pure Racing League tomorrow night live on the broadcast here, and that will kick off at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe, is when that race kicks off. So we will have Division 2 brought to you live here at GT45 Gaming from the Pure Racing League. Of course, Division 1 being covered by Prima Dino over on his Twitch channel. That'll be done at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, a little earlier in the day as well, watching those absolutely crazy drivers go. World Tour drivers racing against each other for everybody to watch. It's really great stuff. But appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and GG's to the drivers. I mean, we love them here. Can't do it without you. So remember, folks, like Petro said, it costs nothing to be kind to one another. So just be kind to one another. Very simple suggestion and very simple request by our race winner here today. And go the extra mile. You know how we go here, take that step, take the initiative. One very small act of kindness can change somebody's life, and you don't even realize it. So don't hesitate if the opportunity is there and you're able and willing. Take the step, take the plunge, take the leap, man. And good karma follows people that do good things to good people. So we love you. We appreciate you. Remember, you all matter. Stay winning. Keep that head up no matter what. Life is tough. It kicks you down. You keep your head up and always push forward. You'll always come out of it, and you always come out of it a better person for it. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.